Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. I got my friend Don McGee with us, the nutrition evangelist. Good afternoon, Don. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Kevin, thanks so much for having me.
So, Don, I asked you to come on the show today because unfortunately this morning I was thinking about it. It's back to school. And I worked hard to get a good routine going this summer, and now it's gone. Between morning classes, nighttime classes. And I find that when I don't have structure, I make really bad decisions because I'm tired and cranky and I just want food. I don't care what it is. I'm not
Well,
one, unfortunately.
you, you're not unique. I'm sorry. You're not alone at this time of year, right? Everybody's routines are shifting and changing, whether you have kids going back to school, whether you are going back to school, whether you're just dealing with the extra traffic from everybody doing different things. We're all impacted to some degree, right? And it's hard to shift from one routine into another. Um, so you may be wondering,
What
what
about
can
you?
I do? Right? Um, well, there are a couple of things. The first thing is kudos to you for setting up a good routine during the summer, right? So you've got a good foundation to start with. Start there and see, based upon your schedule, does that morning routine stay as a morning routine? Or if you've got early mornings and you're like, Dawn, I am not getting up at 5 in the morning to do my morning routine. So sorry. Shift it to an afternoon routine, right? Um, and make those adjustments, but make sure that your calendar comes along for the ride. Because if you just think about it and you don't put it on paper or digital, then it's probably not going to happen. Is that something you can do, maybe?
Sure. And for me, Dawn, I can make the adjustments. I was thinking about some of my friends that have children. They may have two, God forbid, three or four children. And I have to bring this one to this practice, that one to that practice. You got the kids in the car, they're hungry, they're grumpy, and it's just so easy to go right through the drive-through and just solve the problem, Dawn. But we're really not
It's
solving.
true. No, you're right, because the food that you get at most drive-throughs does not serve your body, your brain, or your soul. So what can you do about that? Well, I don't leave the house without a cooler. And it's not as complicated as it sounds, right? You can take one or two times during the week and put together some snacks that work for you, protein, fat, and carbs, feed your body, your brain, and your soul, and have them in a way that they're prepackaged. So you can grab and go. Take them out of the refrigerator, put them into the cooler, toss an ice pack if it's still warm, and off you go. You've got snacks for you, you've got snacks for the kids, and you don't have to deal with the crankies or the drive-through. Just make sure you've got something that everybody likes because everyone's going to have different tastes. It does take a little bit of planning,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to pretend that this isn't a little bit of a change and a shift in thinking, but I promise that if you practice and just take little bits at a time, don't think you have to, Rome wasn't built in a day. You don't have to do it all at once. Do little shifts at a time. I promise it'll make a huge difference in the after school routines.
I liked your advice about something you like because I've been guilty of. I've seen people that, well, I'll put something in my pocket, like peanuts or something. But then you look at them like, I don't want peanuts. I don't like, well, that's not the solution, obviously. So it's
Right.
thinking ahead of what you like and, what's going to fulfill you too. You're not looking down and going, oh my God, not another apple, type. So planning, right?
It's the intersection of planning and your calendar and where they meet and putting that all together in a way that works for you. And so maybe your kids like hard-boiled eggs. Boil a dozen, peel them, keep them in, little containers or whatnot so you can grab and go without having to worry about it. Make sure if they love a juice box, pick their favorite flavor of juice box, bring that along. If they like water, get a little water bottle, fill it up, get it ready to go. It's a question of having all the things. And I'm not going to say that kids snacks are off the table, right? If they like goldfish, bring goldfish. Try to bring a hard-boiled egg with it. So you've got your protein, your fats, and your carbs, right? If they like some little bit of chocolate snacks, by all means, there are definitely things you can pair with that, a little bit of a healthier options. But they're all possible. There's no good or bad food.
One of the things I find, Dawn, is when I do that, I feel better because
Sure.
I know it's in my bag if I need it. It's when I don't have anything that just naturally I'm like, I'm starving, but if I plan
Right.
ahead and I have it, then I know I can relax. And if I do get hungry, I can just simply reach into my bag at school, have a snack, get right back at it. So to me,
Yeah.
it's the mentalness of it. Of not like, oh my God, I'm hungry. Between class, I'm gonna run to that, the vending machine, get me a candy bar because I didn't take the steps and stuff. So that's basically it. It's planning and looking ahead because I find a lot of us just we don't prepare for, oh my God, I was picking up my son at 6 that turned into 7. And now,
Right.
I just didn't plan ahead. So if you plan ahead and you have those emergency meals, you're gonna be good.
And plan for things to go off track because they always do, right? And
It's
I think people think that they have to take an entire day to plan and
yeah.
like, I don't want to do that. You don't. If you take 10 minutes to look at your calendar for the next day, put a couple of things aside, I promise it will be worth that little bit of effort.
I laugh because I tease some of my friends that do that meal prep. You scare us. When I see 37 containers on the kitchen table, I'm like, stop doing that, man. You're scaring people. I don't have time to put 37 things together, but I have people that prepare every meal. So, like you said, they eliminated that out of their day. They simply pull something out and they eat it and they're ready to go and stuff. But it doesn't need to be that complicated, is where we want to end on that, right?
Absolutely. It does not need to be that complicated.
So, Don, what's the best way for people to reach out to you if they need some help on doing some meal prep and making the transition to the next season?
Absolutely. I would say hop over to my website, dawnmcgee.guru, or if you like Facebook, check out Dawn McGee Nutrition Evangelist. I do daily videos and with all sorts of tips and tricks, especially at this time of year.
Don, I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin.